Hello, ladies. We have a gentleman with us.
Uh-oh.
This is Bill Jennings, and he is with Pathway Financial. You may have seen some posts from Rachel Magis in our group, and she works with Bill. And Bill just wanted to take a few minutes to come on and tell you a little bit about Pathway Financial. They are a lending company for people in business. A couple of things that I found really cool about this company. We've had quite a few women join our group who, when they answer the questions, when they join, they select the option that they aren't in business yet, but they want to start a business and they just need some help getting started. And inevitably, one of the obstacles that people come into when they're starting their own business is financial. Like, how do I get the money to get this thing off the ground? And that's a big obstacle.
Yeah.
So when Rachel reached out to me, I didn't hesitate to partner with them for our group. I think this is a great partnership. So, Bill, one of the cool things that you said is we do not base our lending on income. That blew my mind. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So that's really the main thing that we try focusing on is helping people that are just trying to start their business. We could work with businesses of all size, but that's kind of my passion, is helping people just start out. Because when I was starting a business, I didn't have a rich uncle that gave me a loan to start my business. I had to figure it out on my own. So kind of being able to help people that were in that same position is what we try focusing on. So we really don't look at income at all. Income can come into play in certain programs, but our main program that we try focusing on is really just focusing on the personal credit. So as long as the personal credit is decent, we can do something for you. Doesn't need to be amazing. You don't need to have an 800 credit score, but the credit has to be relatively decent. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business. It could just be an idea that you have right now that you want to start, and we can help you get everything in place to be able to do that.
Right. So essentially, people who are worried about, oh my gosh, I don't have any business credit built up yet, how am I going to get a loan? This basically takes care of that. As long as you have decent personal credit, you should be good.
Yes. And the thing with business credit too is a lot of people think exactly what you just said. And needing business credit is somewhat of a myth. Most banks nowadays, they're not they look at business credit, but they're looking at your personal credit regardless. Unless you're a gigantic company, they still require your personal credit to be decent. And the business credit, the only thing you can really get with just business credit is like trade credit. So if you have like a vendor that you want to have longer terms with, so you don't have to pay them up front, business credit helps with that. But true cash, you're going to need to have personal credit. It's not really based on your business.
Sure. So one of the things that Rachel said when she first reached out to me, she said, this is a proprietary lending company that tailors funding to each applicant. So I'm assuming it goes back to that, what we were just talking about, like, them essentially relying on their personal credit score. But what are some other ways that you work to fit with the client?
Yeah, so we pre-underwrite everything. So over the past 10, 11 years we've been in business, we've kept data on pretty much every client. So what we look at is we try and figure out exactly what triggers approvals in the lender systems and what triggers declines, right? This way we're taking the guesswork out of it, to where we're able to look at a credit profile and our system will automatically tell us it has the best likelihood of being approved at X, Y, and Z, and don't go to anywhere else. Because the one problem that people have when they try getting funding on their own, and if anybody's ever bought a car, they know what I'm talking about. Places that run your credit, every time they look at your credit, you get an inquiry on your credit. Too many inquiries will prohibit you from getting approved for something, even if your credit score is great. So people take the wrong approach by going on Credit Karma and seeing all the things. Oh, we suggest you apply for these things, and they apply for all of them. And next thing you know, they're declined, and now they're in trouble because they can't get approved anywhere else. So we make sure that we're taking the client to the places that they have the highest likelihood of being approved and getting them funding that way, opposed to just throwing out against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Excellent. So just to give ladies in the group an idea of some of the companies that you've worked with, can you just give me some genres of like different niches that you've worked in?
Yeah, so we really can work with anybody, but our main niches that we work with for the most part right now is we do a lot of stuff with real estate, A lot of stuff with e-com. E-com is real big right now. People use our funding for ad spend. Once you get kind of your everything figured out to where your click-through rate and your how many people are buying and all that kind of stuff, you can figure out then if I just have an extra $20,000, look at what I could do if I had more ad spend, right? So that works real well. The coaching space is really big for us. We work with like a lot of celebrity entrepreneur coaches like Tony Robbins, Kevin O'Leary, Gary Vaynerchuk. People like that will come to us to finance their students that are trying to start businesses or get involved in some sort of real estate program. So that's something that we do a lot of stuff with. Brick and mortar businesses, distributors. We were just working on a deal right before I got on here with a distribution company that the craziest little things make a ton of money. This company makes like little sandwich containers for kids' lunches, and they distribute them to Walmart and Target and places like that, and they make a boatload of money, little containers. So, I mean, we can help them. So pretty much anybody we're able to help. But yeah, real estate, e-com, stuff like that is kind of our main thing right now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, is there anything else that I missed that you want to make sure the ladies in the group know?
It pretty much covers just the basics of things. The one thing I want to make sure everybody understands is, if you come to us to see what you can get approved for, when you go through our pre-approval process, we are going to look at your credit, but we do something called a soft inquiry. So when somebody applies with us, we're going to take a look at your credit report, but an inquiry is not going to go on your credit report. So there will be zero impact to actually doing that. So the way that we're able to get around there being a hard inquiry put on your credit is by getting you set up for a credit monitoring service. So just like when you go to Credit Karma, for example, you can pull your credit as many times as you want, and inquiry won't go on your credit report, right? So we have our own credit monitoring service that we offer in order to get around the inquiry going on your credit report. So that's important for people to know for two reasons. One, there won't be an inquiry, so there's no harm to check. Two, when you go to sign up, after you fill in your basic information, just so we can kind of look at your profile, it's going to ask you to put in a credit card number. The credit card just takes a $1 transaction for a 7-day credit monitoring trial. As long as you cancel it before the 7th day, it's not going to charge you anything else. And we make it easy to cancel. You just go in and you just press cancel button. We don't make it complicated. If you want to keep the credit monitoring, it's like $29 a month, but by no means are you obligated to. I'm not in the credit monitoring business. It's just the one way that we can get around having an inquiry on your credit. So a lot of people get scared or surprised when they see the credit card form on there. So I like just to be upfront so people understand.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Bill. For all of the women in the group, I do need to let you know this is a sponsored ad. So if you have any questions, the person to reach out to in the group is Rachel Magis. Is that right? Magis?
Yeah.
Magis.
She'll respond to you there.
I'll tag her in the post, and I will also put a link in the post that you can click on to start the application process. So thanks again for your time, Bill, and we'll see you ladies later.
Thank you.